This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
How's everybody doing? I don't know who can and can't hear me. Alrighty, so I'm going to shift the view of this. How's everybody doing? How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Let's see. Okay, sorry it took me a minute to get on. My computer was giving me some issues. Okay, how do I change the view of this? Does anybody know how to change the view on the Zoom meeting? Okay.
I'm on a phone. And
You're on your iPhone? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to change it to where it's only showing.
Oh, in the top right corner, mine says view. There's a little.
On the top right.
Okay, I'm on. I'm gonna go sit in the lobby. Where are you going?
Hey, Jill, I think that you have your, I don't know if you're meeting for to hear your conversation. I just want to let you know.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We could hear you having a conversation in the background. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
Okay, all right, I'm quiet now. Okay.
No worries. Okay, Kelly, are you on this call? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started then. I don't know how to do what I'm trying to do. So, alrighty, guys. So, I wanted to go ahead and dive in today. We're going to do things a little bit differently. I know something that we keep talking about is lead generation and social media. So I wanted to just dive like straight in. We might talk about some stuff that we've already talked about before, but I just wanted to go into it a little bit more in detail just because after looking at some of you guys' social media accounts, I figured that we've talked about a lot of stuff, but I don't know if we've actually really gone in and like done any sort of like not an audit. Like I haven't one by one gone through people's accounts and just kind of been like, hey, these are things that I think we could change. So today I wanted to really just dive in and go more in detail because I know we keep talking about the same thing every week, which is generation and social media. So I just wanted to dive into that. So the first question that I wanted to just kind of pose to everybody, I think that our industry right now, everybody is so hyper focused on social media and gaining followers. And I wanted to just ask the question to the group, like, what is your reasoning or why do you think it's most important that you should be focusing on social media for your business? And this is a question, so feel free to answer.
Yeah, I feel like it's a way to just let more people know than ever that you would have never came in contact with otherwise, about your services and that you were around to offer services. That's probably been the hardest part for me. I feel like when I first started 12 years ago, like it was like Craigslist and like word of mouth. And so, but it's obviously better than ever to you can put your face out and your services in front of more people than ever through social media. So definitely, I think really important to try and focus on. It's just hard.
Yeah. So from what I heard you say is like something that's really important about social media is that you can talk to and capture people that maybe you wouldn't have usually. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other like what is important to you for you being successful on social media? Like what do you truly like what are you thinking you're going to achieve by being successful on social media?
Just letting people know like the services that I offer, what I can provide for them, providing them education, and hopefully those things will attract will attract them as clients.
Yeah. So then it sounds like a little bit of what you're saying too is like capturing people that you already know that like already know you too. You're letting them know what it is that you do. Is that right?
Yeah, and then hopefully gaining new people from it.
Yeah. No, definitely. So a little bit of what like Ava said, like actually capturing new people. So what do you guys think is required in order to be successful on social media? And when I say social media, I'm talking about like any social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Um, what do you guys think is required, or what does it look like in order to be successful on social media to you?
Consistency.
I would say consistency and providing value within your posts. Just, um, I obviously like love posting about apartments and everything and showcasing the apartments, but if you're not really saying anything about them and you're just kind of videoing them, I don't feel like I've gotten as much traction versus if you actually say stuff about the apartment or provide value or say something about the industry or your services. I think providing value within your content is important.
Definitely. So consistency and providing value. So what would it look like? How would your like life or business be different if you were successful with social media? Like what would that do for you?
Oh, I can have one job instead of three.
Amen.
Definitely. So I guess by saying that, do you feel like by being successful on social media, you will be successful with real estate?
Yes.
Okay. How many people, and you guys can use the chat feature, or you can say it out loud. I guess we don't have that many people, but how many people feel like your success on social media depends on how many followers you have?
Doesn't hurt, but I feel like a lot of the accounts that I have seen that do have a lot of like traction of people commenting and saying they're interested, tend to have a lot of followers. I don't know if they exactly are correlated, but it could help.
It could help. But does anybody feel like
I think it's more
you're
about the
only going to be
quality.
successful? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you
Yeah,
trying to say?
I was just saying, even if like I see some successful realtors with a lot of followers, but then like they'll only have like 300 likes or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's more about the quality of
Yes.
who you're reaching more so, more than like your overall like amount of followers, I guess.
Right. I definitely agree with that. You guys would not believe how many people are out there that have hundreds of thousands of followers who don't know how to make money from social media. And we're talking about any industry, not just real estate, but don't know how to make money through social media, or say they are in real estate. They might have a lot of followers, but they don't know how to close or capture clients. So the point of me asking these questions is to kind of get a feel for what you guys are thinking as far as like some of the questions that I think are coming up for people. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, because as far as my views about social media, in order to be successful with social media, you guys already were saying it does require strategy, consistency, and it requires being authentic in some form or fashion, which we've talked about all of these things a lot. But I wanted to really just I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm new to social media. What do you mean by authentic, being authentic?
Yeah.
Just kind of, can you expand on that? The way,
Yeah, so I will dive into that like towards like the middle to end of this call. But in a nutshell, being
Okay.
authentic is being like, I think it was Ava said, like not just being somebody on social media who's posting videos of apartments. Like there's hundreds of thousands of agents that are doing that. So by being authentic is being like something that's unique about you have a personal brand, you standing out, all of that. So I'll dive into that here. So anyways, I would just wanted to touch on like the strategy, consistency, the authenticity of what we're doing with social media. Also with social media, I want to really understand what is it like our main focus is on why we want to be successful with real estate, because a lot of people I've noticed is they think, oh, well, if I'm successful with real estate, then, or if I'm successful with social media, my real estate will take off and I won't have to do anything anymore. And that's really not the case. And also, a lot of people feel like if I have a lot of followers on Instagram or on TikTok, then I will be bringing in all the money. And that's also not true, because I've talked to agents that have 40,000 followers on Instagram and they told me that they get like 8 leases a month. To me, if you have 40,000 followers on social media, you're only getting 8 leases a month. Like that's something's not like connecting. Either their social media strategy or they're not closing clients. One of the two. So I wanted to just kind of dive in and talk about those kind of key things in the beginning. I did start to go through a couple of you guys' social media accounts. Those accounts that have like, I know you guys' accounts either because I see you guys post a lot, or because I happen to just have you already on social media. So I didn't go through everyone's accounts because you don't know your handle because you haven't followed us, or I couldn't find you on social media. There's a couple of you guys that I looked up on social media and couldn't find you on Instagram. So that's something to think about, which we can dive into. So a couple of people I noticed, it appears, it looks like, let me rewind. So I wanted to talk about, I know we talked about this in training before, but what is you guys' take on having a personal account versus like a business account? Or are you combining them both?
Say that again. An account versus what?
Like a personal account versus a business account. So if you have a Facebook page, an Instagram account, a TikTok account, do you have a personal account and then you have a business account, or do you have like one account? Who else has 2 accounts for any given platform?
I have 2 accounts. I don't have a lot here because I'm so brand new to social. But I do get I get notifications on Facebook. I get like 24 new views, every couple of days. I don't even know how to proceed with them. So that's why I'm diving into this program. I'm just going to sit back and listen because I have a lot of very naive questions right now. I'm just trying to absorb.
All right, awesome. So who else has like one account for your social media or 2 accounts for your social media?
It's the only social media that I have separate ones for. Mainly that's just because like I'm out of state, so a lot of people from Washington State are on my personal Instagram, but
Yeah.
all the other ones are just kind of combined throughout.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. I won't make everybody share because it'll take forever. But so I've talked about this so many times about personal and business accounts. Definitely, if you have any sort of account like already, I don't know why you wouldn't be utilizing that account for your business. I can understand and the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of reasons. The easiest people to convert to become clients or to share your business are people that already know you and like you. And they don't even have to know you in real life. They could just be people who already follow you. So if you have a personal account, you have 200 followers in it, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to restart a new account from 0 and then have to try to build up that account, especially especially when you already have 200 people that like you enough to follow you. So that's one thing that I noticed when I was looking through some people's accounts, is that it looks like some people started new accounts. And I will always say that social media is a tool. And I think social media initially started off as like, oh, let me share my personal life type thing, but social media is really like our website. Websites are kind of irrelevant at this point in time. So your social media account should be where you're selling your business. And so why would you not sell your business on a platform where you already have people that like you and they want to see you succeed? So I will say the first thing, if you guys have started or business accounts and have a personal account, it's going to take you so much longer to be successful with social media and start getting clients traction if you're starting from zero. So there's some situations that if you're like new to the area, your followers on your personal account aren't in the area because maybe they live out of state. That does kind of maybe make some sense about why you would start another account. But also on the flip side, it still goes to the fact that if you have people coming and going from like moving, Texas is one of the main states that people are moving to, and you so surprised how many people that you know from out of state that are moving to Texas or know somebody that's moving to Texas. So I even think that if you are from out of the area, your followers are from another state, I still think you should be having your business on your main account. Also, aside from that, what do we do normally if we look at business? If we're going to go look at business on social media, again, it doesn't matter what platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. What is like one of the first things that we look at whenever we're looking at somebody's account to see like if they're like a reputable business? Like, what is the first thing that you look at?
The amount of followers.
Exactly. So if I started a new account because all my followers live in Louisiana, for instance, and that's zero, already when people come look at my account, they're like, she only has $11. So that's one thing. And this is not to say that I just got done talking about followers not like they don't matter as much, but your account has 200 followers on it, we start a new account, so that you don't look as legit whenever you're getting started. So that's just the when you're doing a business and a personal account. There's so many reasons why I always say if you have a personal account already, for this. And obviously all of your hairstylist clients don't care about your apartment industry business. But if you have a lot of use that account. So hopefully that makes sense. Now another thing I kind of really touched on is like our social media platforms, whether it be any of the platforms, they are websites. I can tell you, like, I've operated full businesses. I know other people that have operated full businesses without a website because social media is really the only thing that matters in today's day and age. It's been like that for probably like the last 5 to 10 years. So if your social media presence is not there, or if you have a social media account and it doesn't have the things that it needs to have in there, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot. So a thing that I see a lot of agents do is that they decide to become real estate agents and they're like, oh, I'm going to go get a fancy website made. I'm going to go get business cards made. I'm going to do all of these things that require me to spend money on marketing. They're going to run ads. They're going to do all this stuff. But the thing is that if your social media accounts, mainly Instagram, don't look professional, they don't clearly state what is in you or how to get in contact with you, it doesn't matter how much money you spend, how fancy your website is, how great your marketing funnel is. It doesn't matter. Let's be honest, like how many of us have met people and we immediately go look them up on social media? We want to know, like, who are they? What do they do? All of that. if you are in a business that requires you to know people and network with people, you need to have your social media up to date. And it needs to look good. So I say all that to say that don't spend time, money, energy trying to go build yourself a website, pay for like fancy business cards. Like, let's focus solely on the thing that is free and that gives you access to hundreds of thousands of people and that pretty much everyone in the world is already on, which is some form of social media. So I wanted to talk about, as I mentioned, I started to go through some of you guys' social media pages. And some of the first things that I noticed is I've talked about this before with you guys' like handles or names on social media. It is so important. I'm going to show you guys my handle. This handle. It would be helpful if I knew how to use Zoom very, very well. Okay. Can you guys see where it says Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So I went and I picked some people's accounts that I wanted to like highlight. And by no means am I like, can you guys still see Cheyenne's account right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, some of the things I wanted to highlight first about some different things with social media. So everybody knows that this is like your username or your handle right here. So something that I always will tell you guys is that you need to have your full name or what it is that you do for a living, either as your handle or in your name. So see how Cheyenne says Cheyenne apartment locator? This could say Cheyenne Dallas apartment locator. I got her first and last name. So if she ever meets somebody, say a coffee shop, and she said, "Hey, my name is Cheyenne Duckett. I'm an apartment locator," somebody could go to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. They could type in, "I know her name was Cheyenne, and I know she's an apartment locator," and more than likely they're going to find her. This is something that's super, super important. That if I was starting, or if I had an account, I would probably, or not probably, I would make my handle something like Cheyenne apartment locator, but Cheyenne at least has Cheyenne apartment locator as her name on her account. So these is like one of the very first things I definitely would suggest that you guys need to consider. Something else that I really want, and I didn't mean to like go through Cheyenne's account right now and like audit it, but because she's an example and I have it pulled up, I just am going to dive in. So I know this kind of looks different on a computer than on a phone, but something else that's really important is your contact info. I noticed on a lot of people's accounts, people just have an option to message them. A lot of people don't have an option that says either email or text them. So that is something that is super, super important. Most people in today's just in today's world, we're very instant gratification humans. That's how our brains have been wired, and or they've been molded based off of how society is now. So we're very much instant gratification. So if you don't have a button that says email or text on here, already that's kind of like putting a stop between you and a potential person who wants to contact you, because they feel like, oh, I'm going to DM her. Like, I want to be able to like have access to her. So if you guys don't have a email or text button on your Instagram, that is super, super important. And these are just the main things that I wanted, or these are some of the things I wanted to talk about before we even dive into the actual social media piece, is basically having our social media account, our website, presentable and ready to do business. So we talked about the name, we talked about somebody being able to contact you. The next thing I want to talk about is your profile pictures. A lot of people do not have very bright and vibrant profile pictures, and that is super, super important. So if you guys do not have to have a professional headshot, you don't have to have anything fancy. I'm pretty sure Cheyenne made this with a tripod. She shot that of herself. It may be at an apartment complex. It may even be at her house. I'm not sure. But having a clear, vibrant social media photo is super, super important to have. That's something else I noticed a lot of people don't have on their accounts. Also with the bios, something else I've noticed is a lot of people don't even really have what it is that they do in their bios, or really a like call to action. So I know that you guys probably know a call to action is telling somebody what to do. It's a call to action. So a call to action example that you could have in your account would basically say, shoot me a DM to get free move-in specials, or contact me now if you're looking to move in 30 days. It's basically saying, hey, this is what you're needing to do, and this is how to get a hold of me. And even though we think that that is like common sense, for some reason psychologically people need direction and they need us to tell them what to do. So if you don't have a call to action, if you don't have a very clear bio about what it is that you do and your purpose for your social media, you can have all of the pretty apartment videos on your account that you want, but if people have no idea that you're an apartment locator, or that you're excited to help them, or how you can help them, it doesn't even matter. So this is something that I've noticed a lot, that just like a simple shift of your name, your username, your profile picture, and your bio has a huge like deciding factor if you're going to be successful in real estate. So, or any business actually. So you want to make sure that it's very clear about who you are, what you do, and how someone can get a hold of you. So that is going to be kind of the first couple things that I wanted to talk about. So as far as like getting ready on social media to start actually diving into the content, I think a lot of people think, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to post. I can't get followers. I'm not closing clients. I'm getting on social media. A lot of people are stuck on those ideas and those things, but they've missed like the most like top 5 things that are important about how somebody can find you and how they can get in contact with you, and that they know what it is that you do for a living. So one of you guys' homework assignments, and I'll go over this like at the end, but one of your homework assignments is making sure that you have a name that's searchable. Maybe it's your first and last name. Maybe it's your first name, apartment locator, Dallas. Make it something that is searchable. Make sure your bio clearly states what it is that you do, and make sure that there's a button other than a message button, either a text message or an email button on your account, and also a call to action. Like, please reach out to me. I would love to help you find your next home type thing. So those are going to be the first things that I wanted to talk about. Also, with your account, again, I just so happen to get onto Cheyenne's. I have several other people's accounts I wanted to like dive into. So Cheyenne's account, whenever you get on it, I don't even, either what I think it looks like she did is she probably archived some of her posts, but you can tell whenever you first get on her account that she does real estate of some sort, because she's posting apartments and she's talking about apartments. And so I know just from getting on her account that that's what she does. So something I wanted to suggest to you guys, that if you are using your accounts that you've had previous, which you should be because we talked about why, it is very, very important to go through and maybe archive some of your posts I'm not saying delete them, but maybe archive some of your posts that don't correlate with the message that you're trying to portray on social media. So for instance, if you're using an old hairstylist account, you want to go and archive all of your old posts that were about being a hairstylist, or you want to archive posts that don't maybe look great. So obviously, the quality of cameras and iPhone pictures and all of that have changed dramatically in the past 5 years. So if you have old posts that are shot with a not great camera, like if maybe it's a super old iPhone or something, you want to archive those posts. We want to make sure, again, like your social media is your website, and we want to make sure that when somebody comes to your social media account, that they are like, oh wow, I see what she does. I know what she does. She looks like she's legit. And one of the ways to make yourself look legit is to have high quality content. So your photos that you shot with like your iPhone 6, probably you want to archive those posts, and you want to make sure that you're only posting very bright, vibrant things. So something I just wanted to point out, let me go to something else because I don't want to be on Cheyenne's account specifically.
While you're doing that, Jordan, can I say something?
Sure.
So as we're talking about she's talking about putting your contact info in. I don't know if that's a feature that's allowed on like a regular account or if you have to be registered as a business account. But regardless, if you're not registered as a business account with Instagram, you should be, because there's so many more features that it allows you to have versus just like a regular account. So if you're not registered as a business account, then we'll add that into your homework, because you can look at insights for every single post that you make, and it shows you how many people it reaches, if they're your followers, for non-followers, if people share your post or save it. It just has all these great features. So you for sure need to switch to a business account. I think the creator account, Jordan, there's a creator.
There's a creator account and a business account. It really doesn't matter. You just need to have your account set up as one of the accounts that allows you to have the features that
both of those allow you to see the insights of all of your posts.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that. So I wanted to, yes, you guys can see Instagram. So this is an example. This person does have a decent amount of followers. She doesn't have a ton, but I wanted to show you how simple, like this video got 145,000 views. I think she even had some that had 1 million, but for some reason it's showing up differently because I'm on a computer. So we provide you guys content. Like that's something that you get with our program, is that we provide you content. So I just wanted to show this video literally is so simple. It has no edits. It's just a video. It literally just says your dream bathroom, and it got almost 150,000 followers or views on Instagram. So for those of you guys that are feeling like you're struggling with content, you don't know what to post, you don't know how to post, you don't know how to edit videos, any of that, this is as simple as going to Instagram, clicking that you're going to do a post, and just clicking a video that you downloaded from our content gallery and posting it. So I wanted to show you guys this example, that this stuff, like people make social media so difficult and so challenging. The biggest thing with social media that we've talked about is being strategic, being consistent, and having some sort of like authentic brand on social media. You do not need to have a whole bunch of followers. You don't need to like have the most intricate edits. It really does not matter. I wanted to also, like this one, why won't it show me? I think this one is the one that got 1 million views. Again, like there's no edits to this video at all. It's literally just panning this apartment sunset. And what's unique about her content is you can see that all of her stuff is very like good quality, which is one of the reasons why we provided content to you guys, because we noticed that the average agent either doesn't have like, or maybe most people have up-to-date iPhones, but we wanted to provide content that actually like was shot decently and that was good quality too. I will say that the number one killer of like, if you're going to do well on social media is if you're posting videos that are just like not good quality. So obviously she had an up-to-date iPhone, but I just wanted to show you guys some examples of content that is not super edited. It's just very, very simple. Okay, so let's check on another one. That's the one
What is that girl's name, by the way? The one that got the million?
I'm sorry?
The girl that got a million views. What is her first and last name? Just curious.
It's right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but it says Katie Hilburn.
Okay, just curious. It's too small on my phone, but I'm
Oh,
sure.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So, what's the other one? Sorry, I put these links together. I'm trying to like go through. Here's another one. This girl, I think got like, this is a different person. She got, I don't know, like a whole bunch of views too. I don't even know how many views she got. Like it was over 100,000. You can see how many likes she got. But this is a good example of a video that's actually edited. Like she has different shots, different angles. She edited it very like nicely. But I wanted to show you the difference between this is something that's edited that got a lot of views, and then that other one that I showed you guys that all she did was just like pan the apartment, which is so easy to do. And you already have the content because we already provided it to you guys. Those of you guys that were asking about being authentic and all of that, and you know, maybe having a personal brand, this was something else that's really important. So this is an example of a post that is not an apartment, and it's just simply what maybe Ava was talking about, like providing value. She's saying why locators aren't for everyone. I cannot read. So you can see on her post, she wrote out this whole paragraph about like what locators do, all of that. This is like a really good example. I mean, this is not super edited. She just took a one-shot video of her walking. That's it. And put some words on it. This is not super edited. And then she added value in this post by saying like, this is what locators do. This is a good example of just not being another locator or another real estate agent who's just simply like panning apartments. Let's keep going on some other ones. One. Okay, so this is somebody that Kelly and I actually we've known her since like elementary school. So I love her content. If you guys want to go follow her, she just got her broker's license and she is just really great at content and she's very unique. This is a really great example. I hear all the time that people say, oh, well, I'm not young or I'm not thin or I don't dress in super fancy clothes, or there's all these reasons why people say like, oh, I can't be on social media. And I have a couple of people that I wanted to like point out that they don't look like your average like selling sunset real estate agent. Like they're very unique. And Kristen is somebody who's one of them. She dresses very like funky. Like she wears a lot of Doc Martens. Like she is just a very like eccentric person, and she has really, really, really great content. You could notice that in all of her content that she's posting, it all has similar colors. It all has similar fonts. I know that if I come across a photo and I don't even look at who it is, I already know that it's Kristen's because she's very, very consistent with her branding. And so I wanted to show you guys her account because she's a perfect example of, she doesn't have a ton of followers. She has 1,300 followers. She very much is true to herself. She dresses the way that she dresses. She doesn't try to like look like every other agent on social media. She's also really, really great at her branding. She has very unique content as well. Like, I love how she put the address of this house was like the main photo of this post. Like, she had the address of this house. She also will do, this is like a value post. Like, it's asking like 5 questions you should ask before choosing a real estate agent. This is super important. This is not just oh, look at this pretty house post. This is helpful. So this was a really, really good example as well about other forms of content. Again, if you want to follow her, I can send you guys the links to all these people's accounts. Things not to do when you're selling your home. Like, these are really great things to be, and this is like a scrolling post, I guess. So there's so many different things that you can do on social media. It does not have to be difficult. You don't have to like look like everybody else. It's as long as you are being consistent, you're building a personal brand, and you're being strategic about how you're posting and what you're posting, you can utilize social media to have your entire business. And it doesn't matter how many followers that you have. If you have 200 of your most like loyal followers or closest friends and family, if you have 200 people, that is way more valuable than having 40,000 people that are not loyal to you. They don't know you. They don't care. They're just following you because sometimes you post cool apartments. You really want to dive into the people that you know and that know you. And even if they don't know you in real life, I have followers on my Instagram account that I have never met. But you better believe every single time I'm posting something, they're commenting on my page. If I'm like trying to promote something, they're sharing it. Like, you really want to just dive in with the people that are already loyal to you, which are the people that are already following you, which is why you want to use your personal Instagram account and not this new account that you're making. Let's see what else I wanted to talk about. So how much time do we have? We only have 10 minutes. Okay. So I was going to talk about shooting content, but we'll talk about that another day because we are providing content for you guys right now. So you just need to use the content that we provide you. You can do what some of these other people have done with content. Oh, this is somebody else I wanted to say. Yolanda works with the Rise agency with our team, and this is like a really easy example of doing something that is providing some sort of value. It's personal branding and it's super easy. And it's showing her like authentic nature because she's like on the post. So she's, again, all she did was shoot a video like this of herself and she's driving. It's not edited, crazy. This is a really great example. So lots and lots and lots of great examples. Oh gosh, I keep clicking on the same link. Okay, so as far as starting off with your social media account, I want to make sure we'll send out the homework, but make sure that you guys updated and like make sure that your bios, your Instagram handles, your call to actions, and your contact info is all very clear on your social media. That's the first place that we want to start. We don't even care about content and we don't care about growing followers. We care about those things first. We want people to know what it is that you do and how to get a hold of you. And we want it to be very clear, plain as day. We know that Kelly Cox does apartment locating. Like, there needs to be no question about that on your social media account from the moment that they log on. They don't even need to click on any of your posts. They just need to know what it is from looking at your profile. So that's the first thing. The next thing that we talked about was archiving old posts that maybe don't look good. Maybe they don't really resonate with what it is that you're trying to do right now. If you used to have a candle store, archive those posts. Like, we want to make sure it's very clear and it's communicated very easily what it is that you are doing now. So update your bio, archive posts. The next thing that we want to do is at least have like 6 posts on your account that are high quality and that are showing what it is that you do. So if somebody were to click on, if I were to click on this girl's page, I immediately know what she does for a living just from looking at her posts. I didn't even read her Instagram bio. I just know what she does. So if you do not have good, beautiful content, at least get 6 really nice pieces of content and just post 6. So at least right when you log on, you know exactly what this person does. And we provide you guys with content, so you really don't have any reason not to do that. So your homework for this week is updating your bio, your handle, all of this stuff, so you can see that her handle name is her first and last name. Her name is Katie Houston Apartment Realtor. So she's very searchable. If she meets somebody at a bar one time, they can say, oh, I remember that girl's name was Katie Hilburn, and they can just go search her and they'll find her. Or if they say, oh, I only remember her name was Katie and she was a real estate agent in Houston, again, they can search her. So you need to make sure that your username and your bio is very easy to access. I think this shows up differently because I'm on a computer, but you also need to make sure your bio and your contact stuff is easily accessible. And then you want to make sure that you at least have a couple of posts, at least 6 posts that are on your page that look good. So even if you go and you archive every single post you've ever done, you need to at least have 6. And then once you have your social media account set up, it looks nice, it's clear what you do, then we can focus on being consistent and trying to strategically close clients through social media. I think what I've noticed just from talking to a lot of agents, that people are kind of starting backwards, left and right, all over the place. And people are worried about like being consistent every single day posting when they don't even have their bio set up to like for somebody to get a hold of them. So I wanted to do this call today to just kind of like break through some of these like first steps of what you should be considering before you start thinking about, well, I've gotten clients on social media, but I haven't closed them. Because I think I was actually very surprised by the number of like little things that people have missed that are in this business or that work for our team or that are in our mentorship program. Like I was very surprised that there were just some things that that should have been addressed first. So I just wanted to talk about these things first. Let me just see what else I wanted to dive into. So that's y'all's homework. And then we will talk about, we will dive in next week more about how to close our clients and how to strategically use social media to capture clients. But I wanted to just, before we did anything, make sure that everybody was like on the same page about what your social media platforms need to look like. And this can go for any platform, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You want to make sure that what you have out there looks good. It tells the story of what it is that you do, and you want to make sure that people are able to get a hold of you. That's the most important thing. So I will stop there and we'll dive in further next week. I am going to put out like a training calendar and basically be able to show like these days we're going to talk about these certain subjects. And that way you will kind of be able to pop in and out of the training for what you feel like you need. Obviously, like the main things people are feeling like they're needing help with is social media. But you can be great all day with social media, but if you don't know how to close a client through social media, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to be having certain days that are talking about lead generation, content creation, closing clients, how to talk to clients on like all of these platforms. Like it's all going to be put together to where you can jump in and out whenever you want, but also to where they kind of like go together as well. So yeah, I'll just end it with this obviously extremely easy video. Kelly and I shot there in Houston. It's not super edited. It's just very easy. And I'll open up if anybody wants to ask any questions. I'm happy to stay on for another like few minutes too to answer questions.
Yeah, mine's completely off topic. Thank you so much for all the social media stuff. But maybe other people might run into this issue a lot. Just how to best like respond to and reset people's expectations for what they think they can get for their price point in apartments. Like I have this client, she might get a job moving next week. I found her through social media. She's like, oh, I want to try and find a 1 bedroom for 1,000. I can find you a 1 bedroom for 1,000, you know. But then she was like, cool. So should I let you know like what I'm looking for? Like, yeah, absolutely, you know. And it is just this laundry list of it's got to be, you know, nice neighborhood near groceries, updated, can't be old, washer and dryer unit, good ratings. Like, you know, in these particular areas, I'm like, that's not possible. Like, like it's hard enough to find an apartment under 1,000 nowadays. And I'm like, you're not gonna get that. And I keep getting a lot of this, and I feel like I kind of lose clients when they feel like I can't help them find exactly what they're looking for.
Sure. So I think that's something that people have been dealing with for the past
couple years, especially.
I'm sorry.
Especially the past couple years with how fast it's gone up.
So I was gonna say that it's definitely something people have been dealing with for a couple of years. I don't even really know how long, but I think the first thing that I usually do is I try to like empathize with them and let them know like I know prices have just gone up so much with everything. Like I try to like be a human being with them. I think that's really important because I feel like a lot of agents will say, "Oh, well, you can't get that for that much money." And it comes off very like condescending. And to be honest with you, if somebody treated me like that, I would like stop working with them. So I think the first thing is be like very very empathetic about like, yes, everything has gone up so much. Like a lot of rental properties have like they've gone up 30%, 40% since last year. Like I always try to educate them, like empathize and educate them because again, some people don't even know. There's so many people I've been mind blown that try like they're moving to Texas and they're like, oh, it's going to be so cheap in Texas. And then they're here looking for apartments. And I'm like, how did you not do research before you packed up your stuff in Kentucky and moved here? Like, so I think the biggest thing is like you need to empathize and then you need to educate them because a lot of times that's what they're coming to you for. They don't understand that the average 1 bedroom apartment that's decent is $1,500. So I would empathize, educate, even go so far as everything that this person is telling you that they want, I would send them a list of what they said their budget is and then also what it is they said they wanted. So they can see that it's not just you that's saying, oh, well, you can't get that for this. Like they can physically see with their eyes, this is what $1,000 gets me. And this is like what I want. And it's cost me $1,600. So I would start there. And then after you do that, I always say like, is your price range or is your price range it's usually with square footage and price range, but I'll say like, is your price range or square footage or either one of those negotiable or either one of those like a deal breaker? Could you like go up on your price range to have a nicer apartment or could you go down on your square footage in order to save more money? Like I always try to ask them like what if you couldn't get everything, like what is it that you're willing to budge on? And a lot of times they'll end up saying, oh, well, I can go up on my price range. Or they'll say, well, you know what? It doesn't have to be a brand new property. You know, like they start budging. So I think just having those conversations is probably really great because it's happening a lot, like in our industry.
A lot of people think they can get.
Right. But you definitely you don't want to be the locator that is like snooty about it or make them feel like they're broke. Like there's a lot of people you can't get that for 1,000. You don't want to be that person at all because they're going to stop working with you and they're not referring anybody to you.
Right. So. Even people looking at like 1,500 think they can get more than what they can. I just feel like almost every client's been like obnoxiously like I'm like, y'all been living the past couple of years too. Like, I know we're in the real estate market, but everything's gone up. Are y'all didn't notice? Like,
Yeah. So I just keep reminding, like, empathize and educate and provide value. Like those three things, that's what you need to be doing. That's
we'll see
what
she
we need
wants.
to do. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything? No? Okay, cool. Well, everybody, I will definitely follow up with our homework next week. I almost will go so far as I'm happy to do like an audit of you guys' social media. So if somebody's like, Ava, if you're like, hey, will you look at my social media and tell me what it is I need to do? We can do that next week on our call, like at the end of the call. We can do that. But I highly suggest, like, I cannot drill this enough into everybody's brains that everybody comes to me and they're like, I want to be great on social media. And I'm like, okay, you have to start in the beginning, like the basics. Like, you have to get your stuff looking right. And then you can worry about gaining followers. And something else that I did want to notice that I didn't even touch on, that I wanted to, is that somebody talked about, like, by being successful on social media, they'll be able to quit their other jobs. I think that something to consider with social media is that you do have the ability to touch and reach people that you would never, ever, ever meet in real life. Like, I have met so many friends and so many business connections, so many opportunities just through social media and my personal branding, that it is beautiful. Like, social media is so, so great, and it's very, very powerful. I will say that something to me that I look at social media and the importance of building a personal brand is that instead of me going out and like pounding the pavement, going to networking events, spending money on ads, like all of the stuff that people used to do that required a lot of energy and a lot of money. I am so grateful that we have social media because I can do all this stuff by sitting on my couch and never, ever, ever leaving my apartment. I can just be gaining business and putting money in my bank account from strategically being active on social platforms. So I think that's like probably the main focus, that like being successful on social media doesn't mean that you're going to make a ton of money and that you'll be able to like quit your jobs and all of that. Yes, that will probably come. But the main thing with utilizing social media is actually that it makes your life so much easier, and it's a tool that's free and it gives you access to hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. So why not use it? So that's something that I just wanted to add in as well. And I'll end with that. So I will see you guys next week, and I'll be sending out the training calendar hopefully by the end of this week, once I get it like planned out and organized. That way we have a little bit more of strategy whenever we're going through these calls. And as always, if anything comes up, if you guys have questions, need advice about anything, feel free to put them in the group chat. So thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.